nothing. But, it's kind of our next topic. I think a lot of that had to do with Quinn Ewers. And Quinn Ewers is as advertised. I like it when 5-star guys like him come as advertised, right? Like we as college football fans like to concentrate on the bust and make those lists, but this dude is as advertised right now. And we can talk about his mullet all you want. I could care less. That kid's got game. He's big time.
Well, yeah. So speaking of, this might be a ridiculous thought, but what if you're Arch Manning watching college football on Saturday afternoon and you see Quinn Ewers absolutely tearing it up, living up to all of his incredible expectations, and you're thinking, am I supposed to beat that guy out next year if I want to play football? And then Saturday night, you sit down and you watch the other team that you were close to committing to in Alabama, and they give Jalen Milroe the start with Bryce Young hurt. Bryce Young will be gone next year. And is Arch Manning thinking, I think Jalen Milroe would be easier to beat out than Quinn Ewers if I want to play as a freshman?
If he wants to play as a freshman. That's the big question. So I got a message or a DM, whatever, a response to a tweet on Saturday, and it was somebody said, this is ridiculous. Stop feeding into the Quinn Ewers rhetoric. The plan all along is the redshirt Manning. Now, this is a fan doing it, but the logic actually makes sense. For 1 out of 100 tweets that I get, it made sense. Because, yeah, he could go there and ease in, play behind Ewers for a year, build the recruiting class, develop all these people. A lot of the concern is, Arch Manning's playing this competition. Well, he's probably playing against some pretty high-level competition at these 7-on-7s and those kind of things, though. So I'm really zero worried about that. And you allow him to ease into the college game. And if that happens for Texas, that would be huge for Sark, because then you would go transition from one. I'm pretty comfortable. I just had this talk at the bus stop with somebody, one of my daughter's friends' dads, of all things. I said, yeah, Ewers will probably get drafted higher than CJ Stroud. Maybe. Like, it's not, and I didn't feel like, that's a bizarre statement. Like, he's really good. It could be one of those deals where Ohio State fans look back at this like they did the Haskins and Burrow thing, if Ewers is as advertised. So he's really good. Arch is really good. They can make that plan work. I think from the Alabama angle, you raise an interesting point, though, Bill, because they're looking at Eli Holstein, Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe next year. Milroe, he can run. He's an amazing. He looks like Michael Vick running down the field, but they did not trust him throwing the ball down the field against Texas A&M at all.
No, he lost his confidence when he started to fumble the ball a little bit, and he was hesitant, and that's not a defense you can be hesitant against. And that was the result. Was they didn't trust him, and I don't think he trusted himself.
Right.
And that was part of the struggles. I think Alabama can win with him. They've proven it. They did when he came in when Young got hurt. The previous week, he did fine and put Arkansas away eventually. That's what they expected against A&M. Didn't happen, but he's young. He'll get more experience. But it was just an interesting thought that came to me that Texas. I mean, you're not. I don't know. You're going to beat Ewers out, and I don't know if I think the high school kids, the 5-star quarterbacks, look at college as a 3-year deal now, right? I mean, they want to go to the NFL after 3 years. And so if you're looking at it for 3 years and you're not going to start for one, people have obviously done well with 2 years of starting and go. And I think Manning is a mature kid. He understands the big picture, and sitting for a year and then playing 2, it's not going to hurt his NFL career. It's not going to hurt his draft status or anything like that. But, frankly, I was surprised he picked Texas over Alabama. You're surrounded by so much talent at Alabama, and you're coached by one of the greatest of all time, and they've had so many first-round picks there. But he chose Texas, and now he might have to wait in line.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. The other end of that is because it's Manning. This isn't like J.J. McCarthy. It's the Manning name. And we're going to write a lot about it next year. We are. I mean, just why is Arch Manning the second-string quarterback? Why is should Arch Manning, the first incompletion Quinn Ewers has? Why is Quinn Ewers so inefficient? That is something they'll have to deal with there. But if Ewers and Manning, who, when you look back at all the recruiting stuff, they were tied at the hip on his recruiting visits. If they're tight, then it doesn't matter what we write. It really doesn't, because then if Manning actually goes there, that means what he expects is probably, I'm probably going to sit for a year. And like I said, Quinn Ewers' star could really take off here. I think they could win the Big 12. And that's probably a little hyperbole because they'll probably slip up somewhere. But man, it's hard to ignore how good their offense looked with him under center. And remember, and it's still hard not to wonder, Bill, what if he doesn't get hurt against Alabama?
Can you imagine if they do go through, run the table, win the Big 12? Manning's already committed. Manning signs. I mean, can we say Texas is back at that point?
No, I think we could. If they get to a New Year's Day 6 bowl and have all that momentum, it'd be a top 5 ranking next year. But that's, again, when we do these things with Texas, we know what happens.